Today, I'm sharing something deeply personal that one of our viewers courageously sent to me. Her story touched my heart, and I'm sure there are others who will relate to what her letter revealed. I'd like to read you her letter, and then we can talk about it on the other side. Hi, Grace. I recently found your channel. My grown son, who is 35, has been married to a covert narcissist for almost 10 years. The reason I know this is because last summer, our 3 grandchildren started being kept from us. They were age 9, 4, and 5 months old. We had no idea why, although things between my son and his wife, our daughter-in-law, have been rocky. I know this because my son would confide in me, even resorting to private apps to communicate so she wouldn't go through his phone or phone records again and again to see if we had been texting or talking. I started Googling what to do when grandchildren are kept from seeing their grandparents. This led me to realizing what she is and what's been happening. My daughter-in-law ticks off almost every box of being a covert narcissist. She is psychologically abusing my son, and I pray it's not physical. If it is, he's never told me. My son is not my son now. I've been researching and watching videos on this topic, and I'm learning how to try to navigate this hell. I'm sad. So is my husband and our 2 daughters. Although our oldest daughter, our son's twin, is being used as a flying monkey. For the past month, my son is not responding to my texts or calls. Thank you so much for your channel. Very sincerely, Mary. What Mary is describing is textbook narcissistic family destruction. Covert narcissists are masters of isolation. They don't operate with the obvious grandiosity that we might expect. Instead, they work quietly, systematically, cutting their partner off from support systems, especially from family members who truly know and love them. The fact that Mary's son was using private apps just to communicate with his mother tells us everything. This level of monitoring and control isn't normal in healthy relationships. When someone has to hide basic family communications, this is evidence that they're living under psychological imprisonment. Covert narcissists often target the strongest family bonds first. Why? Because these relationships are the biggest threat to their control. Loving grandparents, supportive siblings, caring parents. These people see through the manipulation and offer the victim perspective they desperately need. And the narcissist knows this. Mary said something that broke my heart. My son is not my son now. If you're a parent watching this happening, you know exactly what she means. You're grieving someone who's still alive, but feels completely lost to you. This is trauma bonding and psychological conditioning at work. Your son hasn't chosen to abandon his family. He's been systematically programmed to see his support systems as threats. The person he once was is still there, buried under layers of manipulation, fear, and confusion. When Mary mentioned that one of her daughters is being used as a flying monkey, this shows how sophisticated these dynamics become. The narcissist doesn't just isolate their primary victim. No, they recruit family members to participate in the dysfunction, often behind everyone's back. Mary wrote about the month of silence she is experiencing. This is likely the narcissist's ultimate move, complete severance of the relationship. The toxic one has probably convinced their partner that their family is toxic, controlling, or interfering with their marriage. And that is right from the pages of their playbook. The covert narcissist presents themselves as the reasonable one. They may say things like, "I just think we need some space from your family right now." Or, "Your mother doesn't respect our boundaries." They frame healthy family concerns as invasions of privacy and twist normal grandparent involvement into control issues. Your son isn't ignoring you because he stopped loving you. He's been conditioned to believe that contact with you is somehow betraying his spouse or endangering his marriage. Those 3 grandchildren, they are the casualties in this psychological warfare. The 9-year-old is old enough to remember their grandparents and will wonder where they went. These children are being deprived of unconditional love and healthy family relationships that could serve as lifelines throughout their lives. You must look at this for what it is. This is about power and control. Healthy parents encourage strong grandparent relationships. When grandparents are suddenly deemed dangerous without any legitimate reason, it's manipulation, not protection. So what can you do? Well, I have a few suggestions. First, document everything. Keep records of your attempts to maintain contact. Save text messages, emails, and note dates of calls that go unanswered. This isn't for immediate use, but if legal intervention ever becomes necessary, you'll have the evidence of your consistent efforts to maintain the relationship. Just because they've stopped communicating with you, send cards and letters anyway. Physical mail is harder to intercept. Send birthday cards, holiday cards, thinking of you notes. Even if they're not immediately acknowledged, these tangible reminders of your love may reach your son and grandchildren when digital communication might fail. Mary mentioned that her husband is also suffering and that their other daughter is caught in the middle. Don't let this situation destroy the relationships you still have. Support each other and work to keep your other family connections healthy. Educate yourself continuously. You're already doing this by watching videos and researching. Understanding narcissistic abuse patterns help you to respond strategically rather than emotionally. The more you understand the playbook, the better equipped you are to navigate it. And this is just a side note, but you might want to educate yourself on what your legal rights are. While they vary significantly, some states do provide legal avenues for maintaining relationships with grandchildren, especially when there's evidence of established relationships being severed without cause. But here is a word of caution. Do not jump to legal solutions until there is no other option. Here's what I would like Mary and everyone in similar situations to understand. This likely is not permanent. Narcissistic relationships follow predictable cycles, and isolation tactics often backfire over time. Your son will eventually start to question why he had to cut off people who only showed him love. The children will ask about their grandparents. Friends and extended family will notice the strange absence of his family from their lives. Most importantly, the narcissist's behavior will escalate as they feel more secure in their control. They often become bolder, meaner, more obviously abusive. This increased intensity often serves as the wake-up call that victims need. All you have to do to fully appreciate this is to look through the comments. How many people have woken up to their isolation with family and friends? This journey requires incredible emotional resilience. You're grieving multiple losses simultaneously. Your relationship with your son, your role as grandparents, your family's unity, your sense of safety and predictability. Do whatever you can to keep yourself and what is left of your family happy and healthy, even if it means seeking therapy. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and your son and your grandchildren will need you to be emotionally healthy when reconnection becomes possible. You might consider joining a support group in your community for families affected by narcissistic abuse. Connecting with others who understand this unique pain can provide validation and practical strategies you might really need to be balanced right now. To Mary and anyone else who can relate to Mary's story, I know this feels hopeless right now. I know you go to bed every night thinking about those grandchildren and wondering if your son is okay. I know you wake up hoping today might be the day he reaches out. Your love has not been wasted. Every moment of joy you shared with those grandchildren lives in their hearts. Every lesson in unconditional love you taught your son, it's still there, waiting to resurface when he's ready to remember who he really is. The work you're doing now, educating yourself, taking care of your mental health, maintaining hope, love, and joy while accepting reality, is preparing you to be the safe harbor that your family will need when the storm passes. To everyone watching who sees their own story in Mary's letter, you are not powerless. Now, you cannot control the narcissist's behavior or force your loved one to wake up, but you can control your response. You can choose love over bitterness. You can choose hope over despair and strategic actions over reactive emotions. Keep loving from a distance. Keep the door open. Keep taking care of yourself and loving the family who stands by your side. And keep believing that love, truth, and authentic connection are stronger than manipulation and fear. Your story isn't over. This chapter is painful, but it's not the end. And remember, you are stronger than you know, more loved than you realize, and more important to your family's future healing than you can imagine. Until next time, keep your heart open and your hope alive.